What's up? My name is Eric. I love food. I also love music. More particularly metal music, heavy music. I just love hard, fast music. But I love to cook. So I figured I would make a channel that's dedicated to both cooking and music. Makes sense, right? So I'm starting with cookies because I suck at baking. So I figured I'd start at my weakness and then work my way up from there, right? What you do, you undersell, over deliver? That's the thing. Anyway, so while we cook, I'm also going to talk about a particular album that I like. I'm going to be listening to it, and I'll play in the background as well. So if that's your thing, stick around for it. This is not my own original recipe. I did take this from someone else and did a couple modifications throughout, but we're going to talk about those. The original recipe does come from Josh Weissman. If you haven't subscribed to him, do so. Fantastic chef. But anyway, let's get started.
First the silence, then the chaos, faces blur in the flickering light.
Alright, so first things first, you're going to start out with your ingredients. You want to get all these ready to go beforehand. So all the measurements are on the screen here. They will also be in the description below. Get them all sorted out, that way you can kind of throw them in when you need to, and they are prepared and ready. We're going to start by chopping up your chocolates. So you line them up like nice little soldiers. Just take a knife and chop it up. You know, you don't want it to be too small, you don't want it to be too big. Somewhere in the middle. You don't want them to be chocolate chip size, but you also don't want them to be a gigantic candy bar. Obviously, wouldn't work very well. Size for reference is on the screen here. If you do find some that are just a little bit too big, like that piece, just cut it in half. Cut it in a couple pieces, and you should be okay. Up next, you're going to melt your butter. Now, this is one area that, before we do that, let's just enjoy how beautiful butter looks when it's melting. Ugh, wonderful. Anyway, so this is one area where my recipe does differ a little bit. We do want to melt the butter. That does create a sticky, delicious, wonderful, tacky cookie, right? But I like to brown my butter. So you see here now, you want to brown your butter. If you haven't done that before, it's super easy. You just keep on cooking the butter until it smells like nuts, like nutmeg, a nutty kind of butter. Then you're ready to go. You can also tell if there's little black flecks inside there. So then take your butter, your now browned butter, and put it into something on the side. That way we can put it into the mixer here in a little bit. Make sure you do scrape up all the little bits from the pan. They will be delicious. Alright, now we want to start combining and making our dough. So we're going to take our sugar, our brown sugar, and then slightly off the screen there, you take your freshly browned butter. You want to pour your sugar in first, and then follow it up very quickly, of course, and look at all that speed, right in with the brown sugar as well. Then you're going to take your brown butter, a lot of brown in this recipe, brown butter, and put it in there. Take your spatula, scrape out that delicious golden sauce from the bottom. If you do burn your butter, by the way, just try again. You know, you don't want it to be burnt, you want it to be brown. So, let's put this on the mixer just on low. I chose 2 here until you get it looking about like this. It's tacky sauce. Next, we're going to take one whole egg, and we're going to crack that open and add that into your mix. Keep the mixer going the whole time while you're doing this. It's going to mix in and get all nice and gooey and delicious. So after you have one whole egg in, turn up the speed just a little bit, right around medium. That's nice. Then take your other egg. You're only going to need the egg yolk from this, so you do not need the entire egg. So just separate your egg yolk from the rest of the egg. Just pass it back and forth between the egg shells here until you have your nice golden eggy boy ready to rock. Toss it in there, keep it spinning, and that's going to homogenize and become delicious. Oh, and don't forget your vanilla, like I almost did. Make sure you add that into this point as well. Keep that spinning and spinning until you get this. Oh, you want to eat it now, but you can't. You gotta wait. So now we need to add in our flour and baking soda and salt that we had prepped from before. You can get all of your junk out of the way so you can make room for yourself. Always remember to keep cleaning as you cook. This makes it a lot easier to keep your work surface and your area kind of clear of random crap. So here we have our mixture here. I'm going to try to get it in slowly. You can pour all this on at once if you're feeling brave. Basically always going to make a mess. So I try to make this little bits at a time. It also helps make sure that the dough gets mixed nice and properly. So, you know, go at the pace of your mixer. Or, you know, you can ignore all things and just dump it in. Sometimes you still get a mess. Just like I did here. Yeah. But hey, owning it. So keep that mixing. It's going to get tighter and tighter. You're going to see that dough start to firm up, and it's going to start to look like an actual cookie dough. Scrape down the sides real good. Make sure you get every little last particle that you can down in there. Now I want you to be proud, people. You've made delicious dough. Alright, so it's supposed to look like this tacky goodness. We're going to take the bowl off of the mixer here, and now we're going to add in our chocolates that we chopped from earlier. So just scrape them into the bowl. We want to try to get as much as we possibly can in here, of course. You know, chocolate, delicious goodness. You don't want to waste any of that. So very slowly, you know, scrape. There's no urgency to this. This is a pleasurable experience for everybody. Once you have all of the chocolate in there, you're going to want to mix that and kind of fold that in, but of course not after making a giant mess. So fold those chocolates into the dough until they start to combine. You're not really mixing the dough at this point. You're just stirring it in. That way you're just making sure that everything is nice and even. Scrape down the sides as well. Get that all pounded down in there, and you're looking pretty good so far. Then to prep it for the refrigerator, you want to put plastic over top of it. I like to just put this down at the bottom right at the dough itself. There's really no reason to keep it up at the top. You can do this and it push all the little air bubbles out, and that keeps that super fresh, and nothing else is going to get in there except for the delicious flavors that are marinating. And boy, seeing this in post is making me hungry for them again. I might make another batch of these, to be honest with you. Editor's note, I didn't have anything to say here, so that's why there's dead air. Enjoy the sound of my voice until it gets back to the... Oh god! So, as we get these boys prepped and ready for the refrigerator, we are going to start to talk about the music and have a little excerpt in there, so be ready for that. If that's not your thing, understand, you can tune out for that short amount of time, but come back for the rest of the recipes. So we're going to let these sit for about 30 minutes, diamond hands, stay strong. And while that is sitting, prep your oven, 350. Now, I already said before, you want to make sure you keep your kitchen tight and clean. I'm going to stress this on every single recipe. You know, as you dirty stuff, clean it. You know, you have a lot of downtime when you're cleaning, and there's always something to do. So why not fill up that void with your cleaning time? That way you don't have to do it later, and then you're aggravated, you don't really want to do it, and then you procrastinate, and blah, blah, blah. Just do it while you're cleaning. Or not cleaning, do it while you're cooking, right? You clean while you cook. It keeps your area nice, safe, and tight. And then you don't have to worry about it and stress about it later. It's really nice. Trust me, I promise that once you move to this style of cleaning, you'll never go back. Alright, so I lied a little bit. We're not going to talk about the music yet. We're going to actually get the cookies in the oven first. Then we're going to talk about music. So, you can use an ice cream scooper here or an actual cookie scoop. It's up to you. I prefer kind of an ice cream scooper. It does make a much bigger cookie. Just keep in mind it's going to take a little bit longer to cook. So this is another part where my recipe varies a little bit. I like to undercook my cookies and let them finish afterwards. So my oven takes about 12 minutes for these particular cookies. Watch your oven and know your oven and understand your oven. Otherwise, you might undercook or overcook. So anywhere between 12 and 15 minutes at 350 will probably do okay with ice cream. scoop. This is my recommendation. If you do want to use a regular cookie scoop, just reduce that by a couple minutes. Just keep an eye on your cookies. Once they start to be brown on the edges and just starting to be brown on the inside, you want to take them out. Moving to the oven, you want to very confidently say, I'm going to stick both of these up top, and they are going to fit. And I'm going to close this with such gusto. Uh-oh. It did. Oh no. Oh no. They didn't fit. Okay, so now panic. Realize you have to completely change what you were doing. Magically get rid of that pizza stone that needs cleaned and put them in top bottom. Okay, now it's time for music talk.
Soilwork's The Living Infinite had a major impact on me in my early adulthood. It came out at a very pinnacle time for me. I was growing a lot and going through a lot of different things, and well, that's distracting. Anyway, so I personally think this is their best album. Honestly, I do. It's just a giant epic story of everything encapsulating their career, and it's just so energetic, and you just want to get up and move, and not necessarily beat the crap out of people, but like it just sounds positive, which is weird to say. Like everything just sounds bright and happy, and it puts you in a good mood, which is not normally translated in metal music, at least just so obviously. It is just a phenomenal album, and it's older now, and they've come out with multiple things and did some lineup changes, but boy, it's just a killer. I love it. It's fantastic. I listen to it constantly, all the time. A+. Awesome album.
And we're back. Before you take those cookies out, you do have to get an adorable dance by your dearest little one. If you don't have a little one, steal one. Don't steal kids. Don't do that. Anyway, yeah, it's really much better if you do have an excited dance, but we can't take them out yet because there's a little trick here. We have to bang the pan. Yes, so you have to just pick up the pan and drop it a couple times. Now, I do this at 6 minutes and 9 minutes, so it's a couple minutes before the end and a couple more minutes before the end. You want to do this a couple times. So again, 6 minutes, 9 minutes, or my intervals. Just watch your oven and see what works for you. This condenses the cookie, makes things get all nice and cozy in there, and boy, it just comes out phenomenal. Pull those babies out after they are finished. Again, a little bit brown around the edges and just brown in the centers, and pull them out and put them on a baking rack. You do want to make sure that you sprinkle Maldon sea salt. It does make a big difference. Nice and flaky, it's delicious. Use the crap out of it. Put that all over the cookies and then put them on a rack to cool. I'm bad. I don't let my cookies cool all the way. Sue me, don't do that. But if you're like me, you probably can't wait for this. But be proud, because you've made delicious chocolate chip cookies. I mean, just take a look at these things. They are phenomenal. Enjoy it, treat yourself. As soon as one's done, just have it. You deserve it. You worked hard today, I think, or you didn't. And even if you didn't, you still deserve one. So just have a cookie. It's good. Trust me. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have made this video. But yes, good cookies.
So that's pretty much it. That's the recipe. Please enjoy it. I think that these are the best cookies I've personally ever made. They're fantastic. And don't skimp on the Maldon salt. You gotta go to Amazon and buy it. Just do it. It's worth it. It's worth the price. Yeah, let me know what you think, how it turned out for you, if you did any modifications on your own. And let me know if you happen to listen to Soilwork's The Living Infinite. Can't stress enough how fantastic of an album that is. I listened to it the entire time I made this recipe, and boy, is it just super. So, thanks for watching, appreciate it. Hit the like if you liked the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Keep rocking.